Today is June 21st, 2022. We just returned from vacation a few days ago, and when we got back, everything in the garden and all of the flowers here have just exploded. So these pots you saw in the last few videos, they were empty on one side because the plant died. These are huge. Now it fills up the whole pot. Same with this one. You can see don't mind my cat's sock filled with catnip here. It's her favorite toy. So we have the watermelon Coleus here. Huge. Look at the leaves on that. Doing great. Loves this spot. Unfortunately, almost all the plants that I have, the flowers here, they're all shade plants, so I have no choice but to keep them all on this table underneath the umbrella here, because if I set them out here, they will get fried. But check out these impatiens right here. This is 2 plants in this pot. I think next year I'm gonna try a hanging basket with one of these under the roof on my front porch. I think that would look absolutely gorgeous. These are the salmon Impatiens. Huge. And then look how much better. So this is the Coleus the patchouli that I took out of the ground. It was getting fried. It had a bunch of crispy pieces on it, if you can see that right there. I can never focus on this camera. It had a bunch of burnt spots. It was yellowing. It was just doing really bad in the sun. But yeah, it's doing much, much better. Look how green and big it is now. And then this is the one that I've had in the pot all along, so it's catching up pretty fast. So the red Reuben Basil, I'm gonna go ahead and trim this on camera to show you how I get a bushier plant. So this is the red Reuben Basil, doing great in this pot, in a soil mix that I made myself with peat moss and a little bit of potting mix, some fertilizer. So when you prune basil, just like a zinnia, let's see here. You can see how these 2 little shoots are starting out of the sides. Well, I just cut right on top of that. Boom. Now, these 2 little shoots will form 2 more plants instead of just this one on top. So yeah, I'll keep doing that, and then I'll do it on this side too. You can see it has 1 plant on the top right here. But if I cut it, these two branches right here will come out, and I really need to learn how to focus this camera. So snip that, and now we have some basil to eat, and 1, 2, 3, 4 more branches will come out. And I can also do it right here, right here, right here, and we'll have a bushier plant. And it smells so good. I had a cup full of this one time, and after I harvested, I always just take it in and set it in some water if it has a stem long enough. And it made the whole entire living room of my house smell like basil one time. It's very fresh, like very herbally. Smells delicious, tastes good. So we have the new Guinea Impatiens here. They're looking good. Getting a bunch of buds. They look perfect in these pots. This one's looking a little crispy, a little dry under there. I have to give it some water. And then the scented geranium is doing great. Smells like citronella. We have the beautiful, and it's still doing great. Like I said before in my past videos, this is usually dead within a week after I get it. I've never figured out how to grow it in a condition that it likes. The celosia here, or coxcomb. Yeah, it loves these pots. There's another one over here. The Sugar Rush Peach Pepper is doing really good. It has a ton of peppers on it, ton of flowers. You can see these peppers down here. Another one on the side. Something down there. Got a bunch on this side. And it's just grown in a tiny little pot right there. This pot actually is what I got my marigolds in from Walmart. And then I just used it for my peppers. So here is the little herb container that I have. We have the orange hat dwarf tomato, has some buds on it, excuse me. And then we have the parsley here, cilantro, more celosia, another dwarf tomato, and then I think it was the last or the video before, when I was looking at this was empty. I came out one day, I had 3 dwarf tomatoes here, here, and here, so this was empty. And a couple days ago, before we left for vacation, I came out and noticed that there was a seedling right here of a dwarf tomato. So how lucky is that? It replaced itself. So I was really happy about that. And then we have another dwarf tomato here. These were planted, or these are a little bit behind. But yeah, this is how big the plant, it'll probably get 6 to 9 inches tall, and they'll have little orange tomatoes on it. And another thing that I'm very excited about, excuse me, is, so I thought this was another dwarf tomato seedling. As you can see, I'll show you this. You see how similar these look? So I thought, because this was in my ground cherry row in my seed tray, I thought this right here was another dwarf seedling. And I was kind of bummed out because none of our ground cherries seemed to germinate, and this would, we wouldn't have had any if this didn't germinate. So this, I actually found out yesterday, is a ground cherry. And I can tell, see this little ground cherry seed right here still attached to the leaf? Yep, this is what a ground cherry seedling looks like. And we got these seeds from Baker Creek. This is a strawberry husk variety. And just to show you, ground cherry seedlings do look a lot like tomatoes. And I noticed that everything was actually germinating, but the bugs were eating everything. So these are ground cherry seedlings. I put them in this little container. They were in the tray. I put them in this container, and I've been keeping the container covered with this little lid here, just to try to keep the bugs out. I haven't been shutting it completely. I don't want them to fry in there, but yeah, I'm gonna have to protect those guys from the bugs. We've had terrible, terrible, terrible pest damage this year. So we have some zinnias, have the morning glory. Here's the morning glory that I put in the hanging baskets a while back. I stuck a volunteer tomato there. I don't know how it's gonna do. I just didn't want to throw it away. I felt bad, so I just stuck it in there. We'll see. We have some zinnias that have been tore up by the bugs. My little Kajari melons over there that I stuck in there just for giggles. We have a marigold that I pulled out of the garden. It kind of had some green left on it, so I just stuck it in there. More morning glory. This is a cypress vine for my hummingbirds. We have this beautiful, beautiful larkspur. Check this out. it's much more like striking and vibrant on camera. I mean, in real life than it is on camera. We have more zinnias here, another marigold that I pulled out and put there just to see if it'll come back. This is a cypress vine, or the hummingbird vine. So these I've noticed, so there's one there, right there, a couple more places. There's one right here. You can see this like fern-like foliage on it. So they actually self-seeded, a lot of them. I did plant this one and the one on the other side of the porch, right next to the porch. But all of the other ones, they all self-seeded. So they're kind of like morning glory. You got to be careful with those too. They can be invasive. Have more zinnias I stuck back there. Another volunteer tomato. Check out this. Besides the bug damage, which I'm suspecting is Japanese beetles. So look at that morning glory. These leaves are huge. Beautiful heart-shaped leaves. And then here's some morning glory in the basket. But this is going to look beautiful when it all blooms. The zinnias, morning glories, a cypress vine, and then a little tomato over there. We'll see how that does. The hostas are starting to go to flower. These are actually, they look kind of like asparagus because they are related to the asparagus family. So yeah, these guys are starting to go to flower. And check out the garden. So while we were gone, before we left, I did a video and we just had like tomatoes with some little bite-sized tomatoes on them. But now we have a ton and they are getting big. It's so exciting. So we have the Black Beauty right here. You can see, check out these guys. Have some up here. And then it has a ton of flowers and buds. There's another Sugar Rush peach plant. You can see all the peppers there. Some up here. And they do have these little bugs on them, I've noticed. And a daddy long leg there. I don't know what they're technically called, but I still call them daddy long legs. So there's this little bug. It looks like a tick right here. If you can see that. I've noticed these are all on my peppers. This little guy down there. Don't know what it is, but my peppers have gotten like rotten spots on them. And then you can see this one down here. It does have some like brown spots on it, like where it's been bitten. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and see what that bug is. I have a feeling that's what's causing the damage. And there were some peppers laying on the ground that we had to throw away because it looked like they have blossom end rot. So this is a black crim. You can see a nice little truss of tomatoes under there. There's another truss right there. We have some more tomatoes here. And then here is the Ananas Noir. Has a giant cluster of tomatoes on it. And then some more flowers up at the top. This is the Paul Robeson. So these look pretty good. We have another one right there. And then we have a German pink. These guys are getting pretty big. You can see how big that tomato is. So this is the one we were hoping for, a German Johnson, but it's a German pink, and apparently they're not the same thing, so we'll see. Planted some petunias here, and here is a cayenne plant. Oh, and it has a little baby cayenne pepper on it. Look how tiny. This is one of the peppers that was doing really bad in this bed here behind me. I moved it and it's doing great. So this is a mystery tomato. It was a volunteer. We stuck it in there just to see what kind it'll eventually be. We have some radishes down there that I planted. One of the calendula from over there, and we'll get to that soon. It has bloomed. More volunteer tomatoes. We have another orange marigold. This is a ghost pepper. So it is looking much, much, much better since I moved it over here. And this is the Tabasco plant. When they were both in this bed, they looked really bad. Really, really bad. I was really worried that they weren't going to make it. So, but check out the spaghetti squash. So it is now trailing up the trellis right here. Actually, in just 2 days, it was right to here, and now it's all the way up there in just like 2 days, 2.5 days. This is the Pepperoncini. You can see all the peppers on it. We got this plant from the nursery, and it's just piled with peppers and tons of flowers at the top. And we have the red hot cherry pepper. I've seen them also referred to as cherry bombs. Ton of peppers on this guy here. And then the black Nebula carrots have came up right here in a row. I don't know if it's probably too hot for carrots. I've seen some people say you got to plant them in the cold. Other people say you can plant them in the heat. So I never listen to anybody. I just plant things and see what happens, and they're coming up. So hopefully they'll be good. They're the darkest carrot in the world, apparently. This is a striped German, has some flowers on it. We got a sunflower, another sunflower. This zucchini is quite noticeably smaller than this huge guy. This did take some bug damage, but the leaves that are at the base, they started to grow pretty good. So maybe we'll have 2 plants. This guy's doing really good. I don't see any female flowers, aka fruit, forming yet. Oh yes, I do. So there is a baby zucchini right here. This flower will open up. I'll pollinate it with a male flower, and we'll have some zucchinis if the vine borers don't get them. So there's a volunteer tomato, another sunflower. We have a poblano plant, moonflower back there tucked in. We have some seeds, some more seeds that I started. I started some amaranth, sweet basil. These are petite marigolds. And then I have some columbine over here. That won't bloom until next year. It's a perennial. And then I think I have some petunias and a little bachelor button, a little mix of different little flowers over there. We stuck a marigold in here for the pollinators. We have another Sugar Rush peach. This one doesn't have quite as many peppers on it as the other 2. Not sure why. Some plants just produce more than others. There's one down there, a little one. And we have another red Reuben Basil. We have a brandywine. See a tomato on that guy. Right here. Is that the only tomato? Yeah. But we have some flowers, bunch of buds. And then check out how big the watermelon got. So these are sugar baby watermelons. There's 2 plants on this arched cow panel trellis. And these guys are just taking off. And then we have, oh, back here, you can't really see, but the stem comes up. So this is another volunteer tomato. I just left it in there to see what happens. But you can see the little flowers. These are males on the sugar baby watermelon. And here's another one. They're vining good. We have the Kajari Melon here, starting to make a little vine. Gave these guys some nitrogen day before yesterday. They were starting to yellow a little bit. Gave them some fish fertilizer. They look a lot better. Have an orange marigold. This is the Ananas Noyer. You can see a tomato right up there on that. A bunch of flowers. And then we have another Black Beauty. And you can see the little Black Beauty tomatoes on there. They are so cute. And then another little gorgeous orange marigold. Let's see, more Kajari melons. 3 plants. And look at the little volunteer Coleus. So cute. More watermelons. You can see these vining up here. Check out this amaranth. This thing got huge while we were gone. Look at the size of the, just for comparison, my hands. Look at the size of that stem. And then we have a little baby amaranth coming out at the top. This is the Love Lies Bleeding variety. They get pretty tall, so love those. And then we have the Berkeley tie-dye pink. You can see all these tomatoes. Bunch of flowers up here, more tomatoes forming. We have some sunflowers I put in the tray. Another volunteer tomato next to a sunflower. The dill actually went to flower while we were gone. And unfortunately, when your herbs go to flower, apparently it sends out a hormone which changes the taste of the herb. So the dill doesn't have that like pungent dill flavor anymore, but I'm not gonna pull it out because I don't know, it's such a pretty plant. I don't know if we'll use it, but it's such a pretty plant. And plus the pollinators love, I've noticed, like herby flowers. So another big sunflower. We have the golden sage, a gorgeous plum petunia that I put here yesterday for the pollinators. I really like cottage garden type gardens, like potager gardens with flowers intermingled within the vegetables. So I like to have a lot of things for the pollinators. I need help pollinating my melons and squash. So have these little guys for all the bugs and the bees. We have another celosia here, another dill. This is a volunteer tomato, some moonflower. I put it along this fence line here. I'm gonna let it just trail down the fence line. I know that it's like a morning glory and it can be invasive, but my neighbors, as you can see, my neighbor's grass is a giant field. They don't really care what their yard looks like, so I figured they wouldn't care if there was a moonflower on their fence. I mean, this yard is just, I don't care. To each his own. Do what you want, but yeah, I don't think he'll mind if I grow some moonflower. So there's some red Reuben Basil. Here's my Cajun bell pepper. Don't mind all my little seedling stuff in the yard. Some more sweet basil. We got a gladiolus here. Volunteer sunflower. Another volunteer sunflower. Celosia. Another poblano plant. We have a sunflower tucked in back there. Lemon air freshener to keep away the skunks. Another volunteer tomato. Another sunflower. We have lima beans. Another celosia. Rosemary. The banana pepper, sweet banana pepper. Another volunteer. Another sunflower. This is the biggest, I believe, maybe not, the biggest sunflower I have so far. And then check out the strawberry blonde calendula. This is so gorgeous. I love this. It looks much more darker on camera, but in person it's really light. Like has a really light center with like peach or salmon and then like a burnt orange rim. They are absolutely beautiful, and they have a ton more buds, little ones, big ones, beautiful flower. And I took the one that was in the back that didn't do as good and put over there in that bed. So we have the lavender here, another gorgeous plum petunia, one's getting ready to open. And then we have chamomile. So this is the German chamomile getting ready to open. So excited about that. Can't wait to make some lotions and soaps and oils and salves and tea. We have the Nasturtium. You can see a little leaf miner has gotten to it. If you see little zigzags all over your plants like this, that's a bug that just gets inside the leaves and eats all through the plant. We have another Nasturtium right here, another Nasturtium. They're struggling a little bit with the pest damage, but comes with the territory. We have the Dahlias. They're facing that way, unfortunately. So these are actually getting new little buds on the front here. Check out the yarrow. Absolutely gorgeous. Love, love, love this plant. And it's got a ton more little bud balls on there. So that's going to be opening up soon. One's getting ready to open here. I just love this plant. And it's right underneath my little bee house for the bees. So we have some Vinca flowers here. Another plum petunia I put in. The zinnias back there doing really good. I have this big, huge sunflower here. This is an Autumn Beauty, I believe. Then we have the echinacea. I don't know if this will flower this year. This plant is 1 year old. I planted it from seed last year. So 1 year. And it's a perennial, so I'll be making some teas, lotions, soaps, salves, oils, and stuff with that also. More Vinca flowers right there. This is the Star Sister Dahlia, if I didn't say that. And then zinnias back there. I believe this is the cactus mix that I put. These are the zinnias from the baking tray experiment that I did. And we're at 27 minutes, so I'm gonna try to hurry up. The mint's doing good, getting huge. The habanero looks great. I thought that was a spider. The milkweed getting ready to bloom. Looks really, really cool. I hope the monarchs see it. I hope I can help out with that little situation there. So here's a Cherokee purple. Check out all these tomatoes. And then we have another sugar baby watermelon with a big vine. We have a black cherry tomato here with a ton of cherries on it. And then another poblano plant. This thing's huge. You can see a little poblano pepper right there. And then the spoon tomato. So check out how big this thing got in 10 days. I mean, go back and watch my garden video from 10 days ago. It's crazy how quick plants grow. It is absolutely crazy. So in here we have a mortgage lifter. Can't see tomatoes on that. There is some on there that I just can't show you guys on the camera. We have a striped German right here. This is a sun gold. Ton of tomatoes on the sun gold everywhere you look. This is one of the most popular cherry tomatoes. It's a yellow, supposedly really sweet tomato. We have the moonflower vine here coming up along the sugar snap pea vine. We have a blue cream berry, has a little bit of tomatoes on it. These have anthocyanin in them too, which is what gives it that dark blue, black, purple appearance. Another volunteer tomato. This is, check out I'm so excited about this. So excited. But check out my bell pepper. I'm trying not to break anything. Let's see. So there is the first bell pepper that I've ever grown in my entire life. There it is. I can finally say that I have a bell pepper. So we have another orange African marigold here. This is the black strawberry tomato, the new one from Baker Creek. Look at the striping on this. Check that out, absolutely beautiful. See some down here. This is the first year, I know I say this every time, the first year the Baker Creek has come out with these seeds. You see some more. So this is what they look like before they're ripe. If I can get a good shot. Of course I can't. There we go. You can see some crazy striping on those guys. So they'll get like red, green, pink, black. Really cool mixture of colors. So those two tomatoes are the black strawberry. We have another sugar snap pea, more moonflowers. This is another spoon tomato. They get the size of a pea or a currant. This is a Braveheart cherry tomato. You can see some on there. We have another blue cream berry here. Has some tomatoes on it, little cherry tomatoes. And then we have the Indigo Sun. Beautiful looking tomato. Looks kind of like the blue cream berry and the black strawberry a little bit. Then we have another poblano plant. You can see these guys. Has some peppers on it, bunch of buds. So this is the Cherokee Purple I showed you. Another Sugar Baby watermelon. More Kajari Melon. Here's another Brandywine. Check out the tomatoes on there. Brandywine pink. These seeds were from Baker Creek. We have a jalapeno plant. See down here all these jalapenos. They're all through the plant. Love, love, love these orange marigolds. I think I like the orange better than the yellow. Another orange marigold. Another Sugar Rush peach. Has a ton of peppers on it. Another black creme. So the plant that I had in here before this actually got curly top and I had to pull it, put this one in, and this one is like stunted. So I don't know if there's something in that soil, if the soil is contaminated or what is going on, but I have other black creme plants that are doing fine. It seems like it's just that area right there. So we have volunteer sunflower, more Kajari melons, more Sugar Baby watermelons. This is a Paul Robeson. Check that out. They look so nice. And then before my camera shuts off, check out the 4th of July tomatoes. So these won't get too much bigger than they are right now. Another orange marigold. Check out those Sugar Rush peach peppers. But yeah, these should be ripened by the 4th of July. You can see all those. This is a hybrid, I believe. And then we have Berkeley tie-dye pink. Has some tomatoes on it right there. There. Another Paul Robeson. Look at the tomatoes on this. Huge. Absolutely huge. Huge cluster of tomatoes. And there's more up at the top here. Awesome looking. And they all look good on the bottom. No blossom end rot. No cat facing. And we have another Brandywine. You can see all those tomatoes. And another 4th of July. You can see the truss of tomatoes on that. And then an Ananas Noir tucked in back here. So that is the garden update for June 21st. And everything is doing great. Everything looks lovely. The pest issues are under control. Soil's doing good. Yeah, just 10 days. I'm telling you guys, go back and look at my video from 10 days ago and you will see just how quick plants grow. That was one thing that always just kept me away from gardening, because I was like, man, that's so boring. What is so cool about gardening? It takes so long, it's boring. No, it's not. It is absolutely not. Once you get your plant in the ground, every day, every single day, there's new blooms, there's new flowers, there's new fruit. You know, some things grow an inch tall overnight, it seems. There's always something to look forward to. Gives me something to look forward to every morning, coming out here and seeing all of the beautiful things in the garden, and I just absolutely love it. So yeah, I'll do another update in about a week, and we'll see what else pops up.